Hello everyone, this is Dawn of Spirit, and today is September 7th, and we have Mercury Retrograde coming, and I decided I wanted to do a reading. And so this Mercury Retrograde, from like September 9th or 10th through October 2nd, and this is in Libra, which Libra is usually kind of the peacemaker, peacekeeper of the zodiacs. It's an air sign, so it's very in tune, communication, diplomatic. So when it's retrograde in that sign, it's going to have the opposite, like the counter effect of that. So there's going to be a lot of disruption in potentially some very close partnerships. Friends, family, lovers, co-workers. You could have some really big disruptions and discord happening. And of course, that doesn't sound like fun, but at the same time, this is a good chance for reflection, right? And to kind of rebalance some of those core relationships, which is what these is, friends, family, partnerships. So these are your core relationships. So this could be a time to really kind of rebalance, refocus, address any issues that maybe you've been avoiding potentially. So, this would be the time to do that. So I found a spread that is for Mercury retrograde. So there's 5 cards, and I'm using the Antique Anatomy cards. This is what I'm going to use for these, the Antique Anatomy Tarot by Claire Goodchild. So I went ahead and shuffled and drew the cards already. So the first card is how you can prepare for this Mercury retrograde. So what do you need to do to prepare for this, shift that's coming? So we have Temperance. So we have a major arcana. So this is really good. So this is how can you best prepare for Mercury retrograde, for this, potential disruption in communication. So Temperance as a major arcana is all about balance, which is going to be very important here. We talked about rebalancing, refocusing. This is one of those, this is a very loving card, I think, the Temperance card as a whole. Your spirit guides are surrounding you, you've got everything around you. And it's a lot of, Temperance is kind of like that mind over matter quality. So like we have the brain here in the middle, and then you've got the hands around it. Of course, Mercury retrograde is going to be a lot of that communication, which comes from our brain, verbal, nonverbal communication, body language, the way we hold ourselves, the way we just engage with the people and places and things around us. So this is all about balance, because I feel like the 2 hands on it, it's about balancing and finding peace within yourself. So like we said, maybe this is a time that some subjects are going to come up that you've kind of been avoiding, some communication that you've not been having because you're kind of scared or whatever, you don't hurt people, or you don't want people to hurt you. So the best way to prepare for this is to really get good with yourself. Like, get your head on straight, acknowledge yourself, what you're thinking, your feelings, your behaviors, your thought patterns, and find that peace in yourself, so that when you do communicate with others, you come from that place of peace. You come from that love. Be honest with yourself, and be honest with everyone else. If you're not honest with yourself, nobody's going to be honest with you. You got to mirror you got to project what you want. So this is going to be about balancing everything and being good with yourself. And then you can put that out there, and that will be very healing. So even with any kind of disruptions that may come up, if you're able to balance and be temperate with yourself, and then when your interactions with everyone else, this will be, it'll bring a peace and a balance that you're going to need. So that's a really good message on how to prepare for the Mercury retrograde. So make sure you clear your mind, get rid of all that negative, make sure you're doing that positive self-talk, get yourself right in your head, and then move forward to communicate with the others around you. So that'll influence all your other interactions, so that maybe you'll avoid some of the discord that could come with the Mercury retrograde. Okay, that's good. That's a good one. Okay, so the second card is the key theme or lesson that you will experience during this time of Mercury retrograde. So we needed to be temperate to prepare, get ourselves in check. And then what's our big theme or lesson that you're going to experience during this time? And we have the Four of Elixirs, which is the Four of Cups. So the fours are about stability. A lot of times this is apathy comes to mind. Like a little bit of boredom or being dissatisfied with what's being offered, which is never going to be a good thing, especially right now with this happening in retrograde. So this card is saying that you're going to be felt like you're being let down. Like you want to move forward with something, you want to find that energy to move forward, but you just can't seem to find it. You can't seem to get forward. So there's a little bit of apathy. So sometimes you want to like wallow. Like this is one of those cards that, it kind of gives that where you want to kind of wallow in your feelings. You just want to kind of pity party, feel bad for yourself. Maybe somebody's hurt you, somebody said something. You're a little bit discontent, you're a little bit wary, you're kind of in a rut, like an emotional rut, so to speak, with the Four of Cups. But if we're thinking about this as a lesson, the problem with getting in that rut and, the pity party is you can't stay there. Like you got to come out of it. So again, you may have, because of retrograde, you may have some days where you're like, oh my gosh, I just can't take it anymore. This is ridiculous. Any problems, kind of like an emotional stalemate kind of energy. If you do have some discord, you do have some strained relationships, if you've got some strained relationships going in to Mercury retrograde, and then with all that energy and that inability to communicate very well, it's just going to exacerbate those issues. So again, remember you need to get your mind cleared out so that you can think and you can, model the behaviors you want and put that out there. And then you can't sit there and wallow in it forever. You've got to move on. So you've got to figure out how to forgive and forget. So, make sure you're thinking and approaching from a place of love so that you can resolve, So yeah, you might have a little bit of issue here. A little bit of discontent, which we're talking about Mercury retrograde, so of course. But your thing is look for the positive and look for the good, and make sure you're not taking that good for granted. You know, in your relationships, make sure you're looking for that, the way out, the way past this. You know, you need a jumping off point. You know, dust yourself off, move forward. So I think that's the key here is maybe you've got a little bit of discontent, a little bit of boredom, a little bit of you're in a rut with some of these close relationships. Then this is your time to really open yourself up to communicate and clear the air so that you can move forward. That's what I'm going to go with that card. Okay, so then the third card is what would benefit from being completed or resolved before this Mercury retrograde. So what do you need to wrap up before the Mercury retrograde? So you just got a couple days left. And this is the 9 of Rods, which would be the 9 of Wands. So the 9s are about fruition, because you're getting close to that end of the cycle. You're getting close to 10. The 9 of Rods is kind of that resilience. You know, sometimes the 9 of Wands is like pessimism, like you're gearing up for the worst, you know, but you need to see it through to the end. So with the 9 of Rods, you can, again, you may feel like you can't go on. You know, whatever this relationships, whatever's going on right now, you're just kind of at your, you know, you're in that rut and you're like, I don't know how we can keep going. So what you're going to be benefiting from that needs to be completed, resolved before retrograde. So with the 9 of Rods, you're thinking right now that your ground is shaky. You feel like you're not on solid ground, that you don't have the confidence, you're not sure-footed, so you're you don't want to make any major changes. But this is the time to stand your ground. Like you need to find that inner strength and that determination to get past this period of confusion. Don't give up. You know, you've come this far, you need to finish, you need to see it through. This is a little bit of exhaustion here, a little bit of, you know, you're just kind of weary and you're tired, but this is your sign that you really need to push through. Have that confidence to go through. You know, everything feels shaky, but you need to see it through. You need to be resilient. This is all about resilience and pushing through. So you need to make sure that you're pushing through whatever is kind of holding you back, whatever you're kind of, okay, so, sorry, total plot twist there. I said before, you know, with Mercury retrograde, there may be some, like maybe there's something that you've been not talking about. Like there's an issue that's like the elephant in the room, but you haven't wanted to talk about it because you're afraid you're going to hurt your feelings, their feelings, you know, everybody's all tore up. This is your sign that you need to have that hard conversation. And you need to have this hard conversation as you enter Mercury retrograde, because after that it may be a little more difficult of a situation. You need to have this conversation before, because this is what would you benefit from being completed or resolved before the Mercury retrograde. You need to have this open. You need to broach the subject, and then you need to have the strength and the temperance to see it through. You need to lay it on the table and say, this is what I'm unhappy with. This is what I need to fix. This is what I need to see through. We need to do better here. And open up that dialogue, and then use all your other, you know, your temperance and that 4 of Cups to really, you know, have that stability and have that mind about you to be able to communicate. But you're going to have to broach this subject. You need to, it's been laying around too long. You know, you need action. You need to, this is about action. This is about, you know, being resilient. Fight for what you want. Fight for what you want. Quit delaying it. If you see something, you want it, fight for it. And then maintain all this temperance as you go into it to see it through. Because it'll all come out. You know, the Four of Cups, what you're going to experience, it's going to all come out. And so you need to make sure you're having the conversations. Okay, the fourth card is, where will I need to hold my power during this mechanism? So where were you going to have to hold on to your power? So this is the Ace of Coins. Hold your power. So the Ace of Coins. The aces are about potential. So you have potential here. So this is your power. So you have the potential. And of course, pentacles are usually about like finances, material things, abundance, prosperity. Could be some kind of financial reward, could be money, could be consistency, could be prosperity, new ventures, new opportunities, clarity of your life purpose even. So this is your, okay, so where will I need to hold my power? So you need to hold your power, if you think about this, literally money. Of course, Mercury retrograde, not a good time for money. So make sure you're steady and you're consistent. You know, don't make any large, extravagant purchases. That's what I'm saying here. But bigger issues here. Okay, so the Ace of Coins is that material energy, abundance, steady flows, good luck, money, health. So your money will be consistent. So you're going to have your funds that you need to meet your needs for your health and your wellness. Could be on a new path to, you know, improvement even. Wherever you put your effort, that's where it'll fruit, you know, the fruition. You'll reap what you sow, kind of thing. So stay focused, plant the seeds. So this is about that raw material energy, abundance, good health, good money, good luck, positivity. So this is where you need to hold your power. So you need to make sure you hold on to your abilities with your finances and your just overall ability to care for yourself and your needs. You need to hold on to that power. So maybe, since we're dealing with Mercury retrograde and potentially impacting a lot of our relationships, you know, the most important relationship is the one you have for yourself. So holding on to yourself and holding on to your self-love, your self-care to provide for your needs. Make sure you put your needs first. And make sure you do those things, you know, like exercise, meditate, you know, whatever it is you need to stay healthy in mind, body, and soul. I think that comes from this ace as well. That overall energy and abundance. You know, it's not just finances. It's everything is connected. So to me, that's, yeah, focus on you, and everything else will fall into place. But that's where you need to hold your power. So don't let go of that. Don't stop exercising. Don't stop meditating. Don't stop what you've been doing. You've been making progress. Don't stop it. Okay. Fifth card, what can I do to ensure I'm clear with my communication during this Mercury retrograde? Ooh. We have the Seven of Blades, which is the Seven of Swords. Seven of Blades. The Seven of Blades is kind of like, the sevens are about faith. But the swords are kind of about making a break for it kind of thing, like a sneaking around theme. Okay, wait, let's see. Mercury retrograde. What can I do to ensure I'm clear with my communication? Okay, I'm just going to say this. Okay, so the Seven of Blades, Seven of Swords, is usually about some kind of secret plan. Like, you're abandoning ship, like the traditional tarot, you're leaving, you're abandoning ship. You've been doing something, or you've been thinking things, and you're kind of being kind of secretive, kind of sly, and you think maybe you're getting away with it. I don't know. But this card's telling you, no, you're not. You're not as slick as you think you are. And this card is telling you that this is about an apology. So, okay. Maybe you think you deserve an apology from somebody else, or maybe somebody else thinks you deserve them, or you need to give them an apology. Could go either way here, but somebody's thinking they need an apology. And this card's saying you need to do it. That's the only way you're going to get rid of this energy, this Seven of Swords, secretive nature. You need to just speak it. You need to speak the truth. Whether you're the bad guy or they're the bad guy, it doesn't matter who the bad guy is. An apology will work wonders. Remember, we said forgive and forget. This is the second. And this, I'm getting like a battle of the wits here. Like I don't know, because it's Mercury retrograde. You've just been in this battle with someone. You've been in this chess match, trying to outmaneuver each other, and you're just ending up where you're both miserable. And this is telling you to just stop it. Just lay it down. Put your pride down. Swallow your pride, and just say what needs to be said. And when you think about what can I do to ensure I'm clear with my communication during the Mercury retrograde, you just need to speak it. You just need to apologize. You need to say it. You need to communicate. You need to do the apology. You need to, and if you don't think you're the one that needs to give the apology, forgive them for making you feel like you need an apology. Whatever, however you need to word it. Apology needs to happen. Somebody needs to say they're sorry. And then the next step is accepting that apology, accepting what they're saying, taking back your power, So when we have this miscommunication, we have this discord, you may have your feelings hurt. People may say things or do things, and you're like, oh my God, how dare they? And you're getting so wrapped up in it that it's bringing you negativity and bringing you unhappiness. And you're letting someone else influence your spirit and your mind, which is absolutely wrong. You're not supposed to. The only person that's supposed to influence you is you. So The Seven of Blades is telling you, kind of like the old saying that I've heard many times, you need to forgive some. You need to just forgive. Not everyone that hurts you cares. Exclamation point. Sometimes people say things, sometimes people do things, and they really could care less. And you're carrying this baggage around on your back. You're carrying this burden. You're carrying this hurt. And it's wearing you down. It's wearing you down to where you're at your wit's end. You don't know what to do. Why? They don't care. Why do you? So you need to just let it go. Just forgive. I would say forgive and forget. I know forgetting is a lot harder than forgiving, but forgive them. Forgive them for being evil and mean. Forgive them for the way they made you feel. And move on with your life. You're holding that hurt in your heart to where you could have happiness. So if somebody says something, of course, swords, words, ideas, somebody says something to you and you're like, oh, cut like a knife. Just forgive them. Just move on. Don't hold on to that energy. That's the biggest thing you can do to make sure you have clear communication. If you say something, if something comes out of your mouth and you're like, oh my God, I should not have said that. The minute you think that, you need to say it. You need to say, you know what? I'm sorry. I should not have said that. That's not what I meant. You need to be clear as possible, because especially in this Mercury retrograde, we need to make sure we're being clear and that we're providing clarity with our communication. Okay, so that would be our Mercury retrograde reading. So best prepare by being temperate. Get your temperance on. Key theme is your Four of Cups. And then what would benefit from being completed is your, what was that? The Nine of Blades, the Nine of Rods, rather, Wands. Where will I need to hold my powers? The Ace of Coins. And what can I do to ensure I'm clear with my communication during retrograde is your Seven of Swords, or Seven of Blades. So that would be your Mercury retrograde reading for September 9th through October 2nd. So good luck, stay in your power, and we will see each other on the flip side of Mercury retrograde, right? Thank you.